That's cute. That's cute. I don't even know who that is. Hey, Ratatouille, pap. Oh, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? How y'all doing? How are you people doing today? I got a video up. Let me get this other thing off. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me move something. Yeah. Okay, let me get rid of that. Let me do that. No, 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 no. Let's go back to here. Let's go back to here. There we go. Okay. How y'all doing? Can I get a heart if you are doing good? Jesus woke you up this morning. As far as me, I've been chilling today, doing a little what we supposed to do as women or men, I guess, doing the laundry, doing some cleaning. I got the grandkids over today. I'm waiting on one more, and then I'm on a little bit earlier because I have to pick Coda Bear up today, around 5:30ish. So let me tell you why I am here. What's going on? You digging me? What's going on? Miss Brown and Angie Sunshine. Hey, hey, Cha-Cha. Hey, Free Robert Kelly. Hey. So you don't have to stay to listen. You can catch the replay. But I'm going to let this one run for a minute as well as another one. And I do have permission to play the live, but there's only bits and pieces that I kind of wanted to play to just try to figure out something. My title is wrong. I must have typed that mighty fast, y'all, because of course, I'm taking it back. Hey, Sue, what's going on? Hey, Sue, what's going on over there in India? What's going on? Elizabeth, back to this propaganda that a lot of us see. And as of now, it may not seem as important to others. However, Monet, what's going on? It's just something that I guess I like to talk about, especially when I feel that a person haven't really structured their facts, okay? They haven't really showed you facts. They haven't really given you anything to make the story believable except for what they say and how they say it. Um, I'm tired of saying this too, but I've been out here just as well as all of you guys have. And one thing about papoose, when I'm going to class and, with specific professors, right? And I've seen professors intent to try to teach you some things, learn you some things, elaborate, get your pen and paper out and all that stuff. Right? I have to be the first one that I do drop that class. I leave that class, and here's why I leave the class. I have to go find another class. If I know some things, if I have seen some things based upon a person's actions, I have a little bit of desire to want to hear anything that you say. I know it may seem weird and oh my God, well, can't you look, beyond the stars or past that or this or that? No, I cannot. No, I cannot. Once I believe and I've seen how a person make things fits their narrative or fit inside of their world, but also, done pretty much what everybody's been looking at. You're no better than the person that did it. You understand that? So I have no interest in taking a class from the most of what I've seen out here. None of it interests me, not a 0% of it. I don't care how well it sounds, how well it is articulated. I don't care. No, it's just absolutely no. So I step away. Basically, you keep. I don't want to take nothing that pertains to any well-being of more knowledge. None. I'm gonna stick to what I know, pretty much. And if it takes where I'm not advancing myself because particular people chooses to speak it, I don't know. I want to hear. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it because I'm gonna have to go back to my notes and be like, well, yeah, check that one off. You played the game. Check that one off. You played the game. You played the game. You played the game. So, and that equals that. The common denominator out here was Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. And if anybody, I don't care who it was, came out to play whatever type of goddamn game that they had in mind to do so, to compromise the people, to confuse the people, playing on people emotions and things of sort, I don't fool with you. Can't do me. I'm not letting anybody get inside of my mental to compromise it, to damage it, or to put any toxicity inside of my brain. It ain't gonna happen. Play your game. I'm out. Anyways, you're welcome to sit through this live. Like I say, I have a whole nother live to show. If you guys can remember this live, now I have to go back and edit my freaking title because I forgot to put Don Russell's name in there. But as usual, I was scrolling last night, just laying in bed, and there was a panel. There was a panel with a couple of guys on it, to my surprise too, y'all. I have to say, oh, I was really surprised, but I understand getting caught up in the moment on a particular subject. What I don't understand is if the narrator is running the subject, and the narrator on this live last night was none other than Bookum again. Okay, it's on a whole nother panel. All guys, and except for one, and I'm going to speak on that one, and that one will be Nisimo. It will be Nisimo, and this ain't no hate train. Okay, this ain't nothing like that. But I can remember Nisimo. I'm jumping stories. I'm jumping ahead of myself just a little bit. I can remember Nisimo when Don Russell was speaking. He was right. That was her brother. That was this. That was that. But last night, as I set up to watch a tad bit of that live in the bushes and Don Russell's name came up, I'm sitting over here like, what? When I hear Nisimo speak, right? What? Now it's a U-turn. It's sitting there listening to none other than Bookum break down a story with the allegations and the propaganda that it was Don Russell and Cheryl Mack. He literally tied them together. I don't know how many of you guys may have saw that live. And I'm over here saying, well, I be damned. This boy has so much mixture of Kool-Aid of tying Don Russell into this whole shenanigans to Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly, as far as the title called You Set R. Kelly Up. Is unbelievable, right? I'm going to run this live. If you choose to sit around and listen to it, maybe it would be wise to take just a few notes of what Don was saying out of his own mouth. And then I'm going to jump over to Texas Black Diamond live, and I'm going to play a little bit of hers, and I'll shout her out. The second video is definitely her, so all thumbs up. So I should be going to her. It is her content, and I thanked her for it. Okay. Same story, same thing, but nobody on that panel, nobody opened their mouths to say, but Don said this. Oh, well, do you have that to show that how you got to this conclusion about Don Russell was on board with Cheryl Mack to take down Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly? And keep in mind, I believe that Don Russell said that he came in 2018. I believe you're going to hear him in this video. I believe that Cheryl Mack had been running alongside Mr. Kelly way longer than Donnell Russell. So in order for Donnell Russell, I guess, to have this interaction with Cheryl Mack, to me, it may seem like, I guess, what Cheryl Mack went and looked Don Russell up, because he's going to break down to you exactly where he was, where he got money from, which can be fact checked. It can be fact checked. Let's get on with this one here, y'all. I was a little nervous. Y'all remember this live if y'all was over here? It actually, if you were over here, you'll see your name coming up and down this live that I'm about to play.
I appreciate your goddamn help, Don. That's gratitudable. That's appreciating what you're doing for me. Hey, people, where is the normality? Where is the reality? Where are you people at? Where the fuck are y'all at? It's enough of it was him, he doing this, he doing this, he doing this, he doing this. It ain't a motherfucker out here in a position to do a goddamn thing. But he put himself in a position, took a fucking hit for this shit. You could have got on the conference call. I sat on it this morning. You want to support him? Right now, I think you should be supporting both of them. That's just what I'm
going with this.
Oh, you're calling in? You're calling? I don't know if they put my number up. I think Don finna cuss me out, y'all. Oh, Lord. I'll make it cussed out, y'all. I was getting cussed out. But I'm just saying, Don, I just, and I try not to spaz out or nothing like this, but I was like, oh, okay. But you guys got to look at this picture really, really, really big. Really, really big. Harlem, did you drop my number in? You got to drop it too.
As I play this, let me pause this. As I play this, I'm really hoping that the gentlemen, the guys that sat on that panel last night to allow this type of propaganda to enter into their membrane without several questions. There were several questions that, in my opinion, that they should have had for Bookum. Unfortunately, they didn't have that many. They just sat there and laughed. They went along with it, Donna Khan or this or that, with absolutely no proof. What's going on here? With absolutely no proof, except for I'm gonna go here. And as I listen to Bookum tie in Don Russell with Cheryl Mack, when I tell y'all I was scrunching over here, because as I listen to Bookum tell these stories around here with matching up people in his propaganda, and then he doubled back to say that he was there, he was around, he knows all of these stories about Mr. Kelly and the events that went on, right? I'm gonna pause that right there. I have to jump over to Randa's live that she had last night going into the early morning hours, right? And Randa said one thing that, made me sit up I had to sit up for a minute, huh? She says that Bookum has a bunch of stuff on R. Kelly, or this person or that person by VIA of recordings or, whatever. But if Mr. Kelly would ever come out to say that this isn't what it is with Bookum, or this isn't how it was with Bookum or whatever, he would be prepared to drop whatever it is that he apparently may and allegedly have as far as recordings with Mr. Kelly. That didn't sit too well with me. You know, I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But then again, when I thought about the whole video that was out with him in the lobby, you know, with the Jasmine girl, I guess, okay, you know what, you can kind of put 2 + 2 together, you know, with that sounds like it might be some feasible situation that could occur, right? I'm like, wow. So then it made me jump over to what Bookum has said on one of his lives, that if it does turn out this way, well, you guys just gonna have to wait for the end of it, or I'm gonna be, or it's gonna turn out this way, you know. So I was like, wow, you know, so that could be some possibilities of that. But I'm playing this live again for those that are coming into the chat, and I'm going to follow it up as well with Texas Black Diamond live. You don't have to call her and tell them it, because I already gotten permission to do so. Okay, because we know how people are. And I would have never played it without trying to reach out to her, and I did. So all of these years that he has proclaimed that he has been with Robert, he knows Robert and XYZ. When they were at the gym, he never speaks about inadvertently telling Robert that Don Russell is here to do damage towards you. He just said that he just had a basketball game. That was it. So if you align the timeline with his propaganda, none of it makes sense. And I'm listening to this panel of, like I tell you, I was surprised to see who was on that panel, because I was like, OMG. OMG. And no one asked, well, if you were knowing all of this, when you at the gym, hooping and kicking and having a good time, and then with Don Russell and R. Kelly and the other people that was in the gym. No, it was after Don Russell came across the Jasmine girl, wanted to make sure that this person was who it was, that he came out here, in my opinion, again, and flipped dirt on Don Russell. He flipped dirt on Don Russell after the incident with the breaking in of Don Russell's vehicle, because Angelo Clary name was supposedly had been the people that may have done the vandalism and stolen some items. He flipped out a bird on that one. He flipped a bird on him again. And the stories just kept going. Now, I watched Kaleidoscope put her pictures up. And I've been trying to figure out, well, why do she deliberately insist on adding Don Russell in there? Her propaganda aligns with what Bookum brings out, or his propaganda aligns with what she puts up. We're going to make up this story. We're just going to hit everybody that was around. All because Don Russell stated that he had some paperwork of this or this or that, even all the way down to the Faith Rogers. And he failed. Them guys on that panel, I don't know how they overlooked the fact that Don Russell had brought that information out. Faith Rogers' was part of the reason that caused Donnell Russell to have this indictment, along with the allegations, or it's not an allegation, but the indictment on bringing Don Russell in for this whole gun threat thing, okay? But nobody on that panel addressed that. Nobody. But then he gets a pass for attacking Don Russell for bringing that awareness about Faith Rogers. But he brought awareness about Faith Rogers, Bookum that is. And it was cool as hell. I'm trying to make this shit make sense to me because this is straight up crazy as hell. I am very disappointed in a few of the guys that was on that panel last night who I actually thought, like, really? Where's your comments? Wait a minute, what happened? Because they were definitely on that panel, like literally agreeing with him. And not only that, because Niecy Mo has some more questions pertaining, addressing it, I guess, to Bookum, right? And it was about the break-ins over there in Atlanta. And you can tell that that boy sat up there, and I promise you, when I say a quick, fast, in a hurry story came out his mouth, never answering the direct question that Niecy Mo actually asked him, but she did not stand her ground to say, that's not what I'm asking you, right? As if, he knew that she was on to something, but he deflected from it. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, let me see, but I don't, whatever the case may be. But when it got down to them addressing Donnell Russell, and again, I recall Niecy Mo shouting Don Russell out. That was another brotherin or this or that with Don Russell. But yet then she sat there and didn't raise her hand to say, is it right or is it not right? Should Don Russell be tied into Cheryl Mack? I don't know. This is when I say some weird shit. And there's another occasion, and I have that short, and maybe I'll find it and put it up on the end. And I heard Bookum says something in an orderly fashion that he never addressed anything about R. Kelly with a minor or something, right? And I have him in a short when Dr. Rogers came out. He said he never spoken bad. He never said nothing as a mishap, right? Didn't fumble or nothing like that. And that's a lie. Because when Dr. Rogers was talking about ill will, bill, and steel, and the age of whatever, he opened his mouth and said, she was 12. And I have that. I don't know if he was talking about, or they were talking about the LaToya ex-girl or whatever the case may be, but he said it. So that would be another lie. Hey, that's what I thought, Lizzie. That's what I thought when, you got Don Russell over on the on Texas Black Diamond, she rolling up through there. That's my brother. Well, how is that Niecy Mo brothering through Christ? And she is like, yeah, he's doing the thing. Was rooting them on. But yet then they sat on a panel and listened to Bookum with his propaganda tying Don Russell to Cheryl Mack. She didn't say nothing. She didn't say, don't accuse my brother of that, or none of the such. None of the such. Crazy ass shit. Let me play this for you guys so y'all can hear Don Russell speak again and how. Let me let y'all listen.
My other phone upstairs, 608-239-3840. I'm going to put it in there because my other phone is upstairs, and I don't man this number because I know how to block people. Don't make no difference. But that's crazy, right? Think of it this way. Hello, I love you.
Don't forget to hit the like button. The like button, please. Don't forget to hit the like button, you guys.
I'm just saying. You gotta pick your fucking struggles out here, and you guys are dealing with a whole lot of goddamn struggles. I don't see it. And that's
Strugglers
just
and
like,
straddlers.
I'm just gonna come out here, throw away all my goddamn success, forget about my mama. I'm gonna leave my son. I'm just to go and intentionally set some shit up. I'm gonna tell him I'm gonna blow a car. I'm gonna tell him I'm gonna shoot up intentionally. Yes, it was probably a mishap. Yes, it was probably the wrong thing to do. Oh shit, I gotta disconnect from the headphones. Okay, you're on the live. Don't come beat me up now. I be getting my ass whooped around these streets. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm, hanging in there. It is what it is.
All you can do.
Yeah,
All you can do.
I got your message on DM.
I guess I'll have to stick around. I don't have any mods in here, do I?
My name is being out there.
Miss Brown is here. Okay, Miss Brown, you in the chat?
Supporter of truth, pusher of the truth. Since the beginning, and you've always had my back and supported me. I don't even know you.
I know, right? That's crazy. So, I think it's that west side. I don't know. Maybe west side.
Yeah. So for that alone, I'm gonna call in to give you some love. I don't care about this platform. It's more of a, if I can, it's like with Tasha K. When she first went in there and promoted, started speaking about being robbed, the numbers went through the fucking roof. And when I had a chance to talk to her, I said, listen, if you use my name or whatever like this to grow, I have no problems with that. But as long as you set the record straight, we can go forward. And she did that. So, if I got to visit you and you can get some more numbers because people want to hear from me, I'm cool with that. Whether they're coming to hate on me or whether they're coming to like me, they still add up to numbers for you. And that help you out. So that's it. So,
and the truth though, Don, it's not about the numbers. I just wanted you to come and chit chat with my little 20 girls that be here. I wasn't studying other people. That's just the
okay. I'm here. I'm not going nowhere. I'm here.
And once we're gonna get too deep into nothing,
I think all my mods might be busy. Miss Brown did show up.
I saw Bruce's interview, so I was laughing my ass off.
I'm sure you was. I'm sure you was, because I'm like, in my opinion, he's compromised right now. He doesn't know what to say. Like, this woman is in your ear. You haven't met her or obviously seen or know anything. She said 20 years. How do you have that type of person in your ear? And then, and I remember when you came on, Don gave you a place to stay. What is the bitterness about this? I don't understand why you bitter, but you didn't want to talk about clear it up. Did you steal from out his house? Did he get, or is he bitter with you because now you done gave a watch to the brother? What the fuck?
Well, let me explain that just so people can have clarity, and give him information. Like one time I was there, the watch was sitting down. I'm like, man, that's nice as hell. And before I left, he said, take it, gave it to me.
Okay,
so
freak. Okay. All right.
Another time I'm over there, and I'm like, wow, man, you lucky I got out of that game because you had to fight me for some of them trophies. And he was like, nigga, please. And then before I left, he said, which one you like? I was like, that one. It's cool. And then I said, nah, I would take that. So nigga, take them both. That's the kind of shit Rob would do because we was boys like that. It wasn't about money for me. I wasn't there to ask him for money. And he knew that because a lot of stuff that was going on, I was paying for it. You know what I'm saying? So, because he was in a bad situation. He had accounts that people were stealing out of. He was with SunTrust Bank and John Holder had them accounts set up and he was taking money from them. He had a Bank of America account that was all, just eating money out of them. So the whole situation with the bank, I was with Wintrust Bank. And my mom and me called over to the vice president of the bank that I know him and said, listen, we need to get him an account over here where, you guys gonna keep a close eye on him and call him if anything going on, stuff like that. So we took him to the bank early in the morning. They opened it up, opened his account, and he was the only signer on it. This is the first time he actually had an account and a card, and he was the only signer on it. Now he fucked it up because he kept sending everybody in there to get fucking money from him, and they eventually closed the account, and then they closed my fucking account too.
Okay. Now, let's talk about that section of it, right? Because he talks about the Wintrust Bank. There's a Wintrust Bank. My mother banks Wintrust, okay? So that is facts. There's a Wintrust Bank. Bookum rebutted by saying, and I'm not going to get everything verbatim, but I'm going to come damn close to it, that Mr. Kelly would not tie his money into anybody's money. But prior to that, Don Russell said that, hell, he didn't have any money left. Basically, weren't they out here trying to raise money to establish attorneys? He said that. And I'm just going through the line. That's it. That's all, because it's going to get flipped again, by choice anyway. But he said that he was helping him to move whatever little scribbles that he had left to a safe place. Now, mind you, that Bookum said on that lie that Don Russell was tied to Cheryl Mack. And if Cheryl Mack was problematic with taking money or moving out the Atlanta house because they were all leased in her home and this or that, wouldn't you think that they'd have done this together? So that would have said to me that, oh my God, Don Russell was also hiding money from Cheryl Mack. Because they, according to Bookum, they a team. So you mean to tell me that Don Russell was bad enough to move money around from Cheryl Mack too, and her not knowing the person that he was working with? This is what he alleged, okay? But yet then he says that he showed up. And help Robert, you got to move your money. You got to move your money. They all have an attachment to your money. He doesn't explain to the people out here, why do all of these people, other than Don Russell, way back then, had an attachment to this man's money? Did Mr. Kelly set it up that way so he didn't have to be bothered with it? Who all was going inside of this man's money? Writing checks, doing this, doing that. I highly doubt, with Don Russell saying that he just came back in 2018, excuse me, that his name was signed on any of these checks to be dispersed for lawsuits or rental properties or buying cars or anything like that. His money was getting depleted long before Don Russell came along. This is just a story that has been out here. Even Robert Kelly has told the public that he was a broke ass legend. He said it in his songs. But you'll have someone come along and say, hey, we got to move your money. We got to do this because the sharks is out here. You're not going to have anything left. But Bookum tells it a different way because he refused to see it this way. And he can't do no thorough investigation about it unless Mr. Kelly gives him that authorization to do so. Moving forward, if there was any problems with that, you had as well Greenberg out here talking. Him and Greenberg did not see eye to eye. He tells you that Mr. Kelly asked him to work with Greenberg a little bit. Why would Kelly ask Don Russell to, and Greenberg to try to work together just a little bit? But Don Russell allegedly was with Cheryl Mack. Oh, Jesus.
But, he's one of those guys, like a kid with an Amex card for the first time. He didn't know how to handle it. And we had just started getting him his money back. So he had all this new money that he had access to, for the first time in his whole career. He had an account set that his royalties were going directly into. And so that was
okay, Ms. Brown, I'm here with you.
So there was a lot of things that people can't even speak on. Like I showed the pictures of my son. Well, ain't nobody that know why I've showed you pictures where their son was at the studio.
I guess that's a
Hanging out
fact.
with them, taking pictures with them.
Let's call out a few facts as he go along, because I ain't seen no pictures nowhere. And you know that if you got some kids or some grandmamas or some aunties that then had some pictures with Mr. Kelly, most people they be wanting to show you. See, but I don't see anything of a sort with the person whom this panel sponged in and was so happy to hear him tell this propaganda, but he can't show them nothing of a sort like this. Don Russell showed a picture with him and his, you say, give him a pass, Curtis. I should shut it down. I'm just saying, Curtis, no pictures, none. He didn't bring his kids around to enjoy a legend, to get to shake hands with a legend. Are you kidding me? Come on, Dad.
Rob asked him what he wanted for his birthday. He let him use his phone. He was like, you know, man, I want to use your car. I took all my friends out. So he gave him a Sprinter, you know, and I drove it, of course. But that's the kind of cool he was, you know what I mean? You know, once I started diving into it.
Hold up. Did he say he got to drive the Sprinter? I'm just throwing out there a whole lot of reasons why a person would get mad. I'm just throwing out some things that would light a person up, be like, you know, this motherfucker, he just said that he got to drive the Sprinter. Now, we saw him drive, well, we didn't see him. He came out to say that he got to drive the Sprinter, but we saw another person run alongside the Sprinter. Not only that, I played that long video when Mr. Kelly got out and they put him inside the Sprinter. What was Don Russell driving behind the Sprinter? And he drove all the way and stood right there in the parking lot of McDonald's, right along with the rest of the crew. I did not see no freaking Bookum nowhere. Nowhere. So the way I see this, if Don Russell says that he had heard, that I admit he started hearing about Mr. Kelly's money in the song, right? I got to go help my friend. He made it back down there to make a purpose around Mr. Kelly. Now, I don't know when Bookum got done with whatever schooling that he says that his goddaddy sent him to. But I know one thing for sure and two things for certain. He didn't make it back down there to get in no car behind Mr. Kelly or drive behind the Sprinter to help protect this man's safety as they moved along over to McDonald's. But this is the person that they was up there appeased, listening to some propaganda of tying Don Russell into this link with Cheryl Mack. I was up, press play, pal, press play.
It got fucking convoluted because I'm sitting there with him and one of his family members that was stealing from him too. And
hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button.
Stealing at that time. But when I found out later, I'm like, that's unique and all this shit. I mean, so find out funny as hell towards me and shit. You know, first everybody was cool. I would go to the parties and shit. We all smoking cigars together, hanging out and shit. Then all of a sudden, niggas is giving, you know, trying to take me out on the basketball court. What the fuck is this about? I started to bring my brothers with me and stuff. So what I didn't know was that you know that the family member was leaking everything that I was exposing to Rob. Like, listen, this person's still.
Stop, because this would agitate a person too. He said he had to figure out, why did the air change? Why did the air change all of a sudden? He said that he had to find out, you know, that a family member, what family member was up in there? I think they said that it was the Bud guy or whatever. And I'm not really trying to put any propaganda out here. I'm really not. but I could have sworn I saw a family member show up on the news out there and then ended up showing up on Bookum's show. A family member. Why all of a sudden? Why now? How long has the community been asking, well, where's Rob's family? Where's his immediate family? Huh? I thought that was kind of weird. So after the immediate family member makes an appearance at Mr. Kelly's hearing, he magically made an appearance out here on social media. He wouldn't give a statement to the news media. Not at all. And I was like, what? Do you know the information that that family member could have gotten out in the main media? Do you know that the information and the laughing and the giggling and his dialogue about relationships was totally messed up? Y'all know what I do? I got to pause this because I got to talk about that for a second, right? Because I could have sworn he said that, you know, the lady that came on with him on the downtown Chicago in front of the news, she says, well, that's my husband. Did y'all hear that part? Put a one in the chat when that lady said, that's my husband. And if y'all would have heard his dialogue about relationships, because he was over there like, this why I don't like no more. This why he didn't like. And I was like, dude, aren't like you married? But I guess that kind of really didn't matter. I don't know, but I was like, what is he saying? And boy, he was talking dirty about women, right? Oh, this the same uncle that sued nephew. Good gracious somebody. Oh my Lord, I learn something new every day. Anyways, I thought that was awkward. I thought that here's your time as a family member. You have the whole world that is looking, that is was able to look, that caught that show. And he had absolutely nothing to say on behalf of Mr. Kelly to put out, you know, what he chose to put out on the Bookum show. What was wrong with showing that to the world? I can imagine, I would like to imagine what Mr. Kelly thoughts was after he saw his uncle on live TV with his auntie. I can imagine. I can imagine him saying, well, you know what? Hell, I took care of you too. Hell, I gave you stuff too. Hell, I did for you too. I can imagine that though. You know, I was like, oh my God. Anyways, Don Russell was there. But let him say it in his words.
This person did this, this person did that. We just got your royalties back. Now, I didn't know.
Yeah, I want to know that one, Elizabeth. Woo,
So,
what he sued his nephew for?
Breaking shit up and who said it loud and clear? Yeah, I got the shit back, and that's what everybody went haywire.
And you became the most hated.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So you know, I'm you know, people can say what they want about Watch, and let's clear that up on your show for the listeners. They had did an order to forfeit his assets, and the asset he owned at that point was the masters.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Tony has exact copies of those same exact masters, so they own their copy and Rob owns his. But when we had finished working Rob through the terminations, his masters would have been worth a fuck ton of money. Now, if that termination doesn't happen and Rob gets awarded to the state or he untimely demise, who gets all that money? Tony does.
Mm-hmm.
And the state gets a part of it. So you know, what we did when we moved them was that they didn't have permission to take them. They would have moved them to a secure location, and then we wouldn't have been able to cut a deal to get money to pay his lawyers. Mm-hmm. So me and Keith sat together. That's what's blowing me about
who
this
did
shit.
He say?
We sat down together and came up with a plan. And part of the plan was releasing the music overseas. Releasing the music overseas was so that we can have daily money to cover the day-to-day operations of what we were doing.
But you
Now-
said that.
Because Keith doesn't come out to speak, right? So they were pretty much against his because he doesn't come out to speak on this. But in order to clear that up, he would have to. So that there would never get cleared up other than Bookum putting out the propaganda that he's talked to Keith. And Keith allegedly, according to Bookum and the way he puts it out is that, Keith is saying that, I guess Don is a liar. So what I can't understand, if that is the exposition part of it, why did he not do anything about it? That's the part that got me. If Keith or Bookum are presumably saying that, well, that's a lie, according to Mr. Kelly's masters and this or that, right? But neither one of them did anything to Don Russell about it. Not a goddamn thing. So therefore, I am led to believe that, you know what? I don't know. I don't know if I can find a lie there with Don Russell explaining to the people how the Masters is duplicated and Sony got one, he got one, and this, everything is parallel here, and as well as reaching out overseas to try to continue to make money for Mr. Kelly so that he can afford his expenses dealing with attorneys. I can't see how that was not a good proposition to do if that's where you can make money at. Who's to say that it wasn't done? Who's to say? But Bookum knows, he has all the answers.
You said that, and then I also read one of the articles where I think that you were trying to have a meeting with one other big guy, and something had happened. He ended up leaving or something, right? Leaving out the country or something had happened with him. And he kept saying, well, they wouldn't been able to do it. But you explained in that article that you were trying to do this because Mr. Kelly needed some rent and bills and stuff. You needed $1 million to get that done. And I was like, if this is printed in black and white, why isn't people not believing this, especially when he's sitting down with a man that is probably bigger than yourself? And I'm thinking, okay, this is weird, but this is how your people do you. This is how your own kind will do you. Like, it's bizarre. I didn't get it.
Yeah, it's really sad. It's tragic how this whole thing is coming on. This is absolutely going to be my last time coming out. It's not after the shit that happened today with my son. His mother.
What button do you think that you pushed to make her do that? Because you pushed the button.
Yeah, it's obvious.
I know which one. At least I'm like, oh shit, you work for Hankerson. Oh, you pushed that button.
Mm-hmm.
That was that retaliation. I was like, oh Lord.
She crossed the line though. It's like, when you start doing stuff like that, my son's mom had a lot of negative feedback from that shit, because she's kind of popular.
Hi, lady.
The young lady that she put on to try to make it seem like my son was my daughter. And I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, it was 15 years old, it was my daughter. I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? My daughter's, so I'm sleeping with my daughter. That just blew the fuck out of me. Like, what? And it says right on there, Ashley Russell, she even made a comment when my son was born. I welcomed my brother into the world. She went on my son's mama's page and did the shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah. What you got yourself into? Holy shit. I don't know.
Man,
I was even shocked when you made a comment one time that I think you had came home or something, and she was already talking to your mom, and you wasn't aware until you spoke to her, like, who you talking to? And then you had your mom kind of hang up from her, like, we don't know her yet. Like,
Yeah,
why?
but see, and that was the thing. But see, that's what our people should be doing. You're absolutely right.
Mhm.
My mom is friendly. She'll talk to that stranger on the street. You know what I mean? So my mom would entertain her, and this stuff would keep on the phone on them in June. I tried to meet this lady. Went out to California, tried to meet her, and she won't meet me. I'm like, what the fuck?
Mhm.
I mean, then I did some research to find out that she got an address out there. It's not hers, it's a P.O. box. You know, and she got another address in Chicago. She might really be in Chicago. Who knows? I mean, but the point is, you know, she won't show her face. She won't meet. And I wanted to get a screenshot so that I can verify that that was the person. That because not Carrie, Bruce had said he had seen her before. One or two other people had seen her before. I wanted to get a screenshot. Like, it's just the lady y'all know to be the one in the house.
Mhm.
So, you know, being and could never lay eyes on her. It was like, man, I'm not talking to this lady no more. She could be the fucking stairs herself.
Mhm.
And so later on, I found out about the relationship to Angela Winbush, who was married to Ronald Isley, and that's how she got the deal. She even lived in Twin Towers when Rob was there. I think she got evicted on there, and she got evicted from Twin Towers. So, and I'm still pushing buttons. That's why I'm saying that.
I don't know what you mean, evicted. She come out here popping 700 bottles of alcohol. She says, no way, that can't be true. She out here clowning like she got listen, loaded.
She ran out of arrest problem because of that, so she needs to chill out. So when they showing all that money she got, I hope she ran that through an account.
Well, you know what? If you got a person that's got to come back and hit you to make mockery about where you asked her to meet her at, that threw me right there. It didn't matter if you wanted to meet her on a canoe. What is the joke about? Because it was at a chicken place. That's a red flag. That's a red flag to me.
All manner to watch those chicken
Yes.
Name is Herbert Hudson, and that's wonderful. And I don't give a damn to nobody. I worked out there. It's lost. I freaking lost a relationship apartment together. I didn't work.
Oh, Miss Brown Sugar's here. Thank you, babe, for a minute. Thank you.
I own it, and we put in, because he was losing a lot of money. So I went out there and helped him out for a year and a half to get his business back in order and stuff like that. So of course I was at the restaurant every day. I was still had guys in there living in cameras. I was putting in new systems. I was putting in POS systems and all that stuff so that he wouldn't continue to lose. I mean, so that's essentially the same thing I did with Rob. I found out where the losses when I plugged up the gaps. That's why all them guys stopped getting their money. And so that's part of the talent that I have.
Now, Bruce,
it's a replay, sister.
Cut you off. He stated it, and I hope the chat heard it on the line when he asked him about
upstairs sleep.
And he said, "Oh no, well, Don did stop them coins for everybody." He stated that.
So the question now becomes, right? If I didn't know Rob, how was I able to do that?
Exactly.
That's not an easy thing to do. That's complicated. You have access to a lot to be able to accomplish that. So the only person that could have gave me access to Rob was not managed at the time was Rob. So here it is, like you said in the chat. He gave me access to get his money back when he mad that I got his stuff. That don't even make sense.
None at all. None. It don't go together.
No, because if I was a piece of shit, I would have routed the money into my account.
Exactly. And to take it a step further, being what you did and you put a stop to coins so that he can stop being damaged financially. We got to stop this, right? Do you know how many people right now, if you ask me, you're lucky to be alive because money piss people off.
Yeah.
You stopping bags out there. Can you imagine the risk that you really have taken? I'm sorry.
You so bad too.
Listen, they done broken my house twice. They broken my mom's house. They broken my cars. All that shit. I've been going through. I've been elusive. I stay moving around.
That's good.
The biggest thing is God got me, so I'm not really worried about that. It's my time to be up there. Then fine. I got a lot of questions for God anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, I just want, like I said, I wanted to hear from it. I've been leaving it. I said, no, you know what? I gotta ask him this time. Maybe I can bring him over, cheer him up, because we laugh a lot and shit and have fun over here. And I said, I gotta try to turn this around. I see this a total different way from a lot of people out here. I know I may think weird and talk weird, but when you know street and you know strategy, it comes clear to you as day. It really does. And it's a sad thing that if you speak truth and there's logic to your truth, it's not what they want to hear. They rather for you to hold on to that and sugarcoat things and it's going to be okay. But the damages of Mr. Robinson Vesta Kelly, it had happened already. There's nothing more damage that you can do to it. It's there, and you wasn't the only one, because everybody want to say, what did he say? Well, he's the reason why the RICO came and the RICO came. Well, let's just say that it didn't come. They were still going to get him on something. They were persistent. They insisted on it. They was coming for him.
Let's talk about that. You say reason. How was that possible?
I don't.
But every actor that he went, that they tried him on, I wasn't even around when any of those girls were there. I came in 2018. All the shit was done already. They were deep into the investigation when I came into the situation. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a money thing. I heard the song and came back to help him get his money back. Then all of a sudden we got to deal with the manager who's still, so we got to get rid of Mason. Then after that, John Holt, we got to get rid of him. Now he got shown that he got to get out because he's broke. But now I got to do so. Everything got dumped on me. I didn't come in knowing that the Theives was looking for him, Lifetime was going to do all this shit. All I heard from the song I had with was, I'm broke. I don't own my shit. And I was like, okay, do that. Because I'm intelligent and had a team of people helping me. He dumped all that other shit from that. And I'm like, fuck. I mean, so I have to bring
So let me pause that right there, because I'm equating this to the panel that's set up there to listen to Bookum explain to them how Don Russell was tied with Cheryl Mack on this whole campaign of a takedown, especially when it came to the money, the stealing, the robbing. This is what his narrative was on that panel. But as Elizabeth put in the chat, Cheryl Mack had came and gone. Don Russell is here. Also, Mr. Kelly had made the I admit and talked about his money. I am a broke ass legend. So the question, I guess, that I would have to that panel of guys that sat up there, I would like to see them establish a timeline outside of what Bookum convinced them on of Don Russell, a link with Cheryl Mack as far as taking money. Because he's going to get into and give these people his timeline of where he was, how much money he got from who. You're interested, look it up instead of going along with someone to feed Buffale. When I tell y'all, I was astoundingly, like cracked out over here. And the panel is the people that really struck me, though. I was like, oh, hell no.
Because I didn't want to read another contract to him, because every man who read a contract to him lied to him. So I'm like, June, you come in, you read the contract. So that's essentially all it was with them. Him and her had a great relationship because, he looked at her like a mother figure. It was as simple as that. He hadn't had one of those since leaving the Glen, and she's, got dementia and stuff right now. So that was the
Hey, Brenda. So, hey, Ryan. Me, hey, Jason.
Didn't ask for that much, but I've been here. He's going through shit. I couldn't leave him on the battlefield wounded. I'm like, damn, I'm all this shit Lifetime now. I've been in the business over 30 years. I'm 47. I ain't never been visible. I've always been in the back, but I can tell you productions to go look at me, you'll see my name on there as associate producer. If you've been on my website, you won't even see my face. Because I don't my name and shit. The only color that matters to me is green. I'm not trying to get visibility. This shit made that happen. and I wasn't asking for it. I didn't want to do that fucking interview outside of Biggs, but I was trying to distract him because they was trying to get his ass. And he sucked some little girls up in there to make it seem like, he had some young women in there right after he just got out of jail for the dumbest shit, So I'm like going out there to say, okay, yeah, y'all, he gone. We snuck him out the back door, and they're like, oh, you're lying. He snuck upstairs. I'm like, no, he gone. We snuck him out the back, and I'm leaving myself. So y'all know if I'm leaving, he got to be gone. And what happened? They all left. He got home to finally. We never saw nothing. That was the day they hit the O.J. Simpson where everybody was going behind in the helicopters. Yeah.
Let's pause it there, because he tells out of his own mouth what happened at, what was it, Mr. Biggs? I guess that's the bar, the smoke place or whatever that they go to, right? But Bookum took this story and made it a U-turn, flipped it into his narrative, how he got kicked out of there, and then went in on his dialogue of what he told the news about some tapes or this or that. And by holy, my God, wasn't that one of the main discoveries of Chicago? Wasn't it? So I don't think that there was a lot of harm, in my opinion, to what he said if it was true. Okay, we know that somewhere a tape had to exist. It flooded the streets out here crazy. The problem was who was on the tapes. And mind you, you will never hear Don Russell say who was on that tape. No, he said tape. But the other day when Bookum does a live, he blurts out a name. He blurts out a name. Let me see, whose name was it that he said? Was it Lisa? Was it somebody? He said one of the girls' names. That was so-and-so on the tape. Huh? But yet then he brings you propaganda, anger in a fearful way because of what Don Russell said to the media. But then turns around a couple of days ago, tells the public who he feels was on the tape. Now, if that ain't calling the cattle black in the blackness of a cattle, I don't know what you call it. I don't know what you call it. How do you be angry and bitter at something that you went after and come back in the same sense and did exactly what you are angry or whom you were angry at for what he did, and turn around and do it your damn self? Make it make sense to me, because it doesn't. It's okay for him to do it, and the audience raw. Yeah, Bookum, yeah. But when he did it, he became Don the Con the Don. And we call ourselves black. And they say, if it's in a book, we ain't gonna read it.
You never saw Rob Biggs. Like,
Biggs smoke
Rob.
Rob.
I distracted them and all the motherfuckers left.
I saw the whole thing. I watched that whole thing, and I'm sitting there going,
oh, shout out, Scorpio. Thank you.
I was like, nah. And that's when I dropped My Brother's Keeper. But I don't think that people even understood that commentary. I'm like, you guys don't get it, but okay.
Yeah. Like I said, just think about it. After my interview, did y'all see anything else about Rob that night?
No.
Because they all left. They pulled up, I doubled back around the block. By the time I got there, it was about 20 media people out there when I walked out. When I left, they all left.
Miss Brown.
So he got home.
Hypocritical,
girl. Trying to do to set him up, it didn't happen that night because I distracted them people. So whatever people have, if you want to say, I wasn't prepared to do an interview. What I said, I believe what I said. I'm not that nigga you my brother. I love you. And if you do some shit wrong, I'm going to address it. I'm going to say it. I'm not going to lead you astray and none of that shit. But, some of the things that I had peeped and was seeing, Because now I'm deep in this water with this motherfucker.
Yeah.
What's not proof? Like, come on, dog. Fuck these
I'm
bitches. Let's get
spinning.
down and come up with a strategy to get about this shit. Let's get a website out. So we can produce
Get your money back on where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, fuck all this basketball and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Let's go have some fucking business. Fuck this shit. And we arguing a lot because of that.
I'm looking at it.
Every night we go to basketball bigs and fucking, the gym and the eat shit. Man, fuck that. Let's get on some business. Let's get this shit you got out there. And that's not what the agenda was. So we did clash because now we know the machine ain't making no money.
I get it. Hold on, Don Russell. I get it. You, Don Russell, interrupted the fact that you were on to making money, getting business because Mr. Kelly was losing money and people was coming at him and taking it. But see, Bookum agenda, and I can send you over to where this gonna make sense, right? And I know Don Russell not here. I'm just talking. No, it's not spinning for me either. It's looking okay because I'm on my phone too. I'm looking at it. But Bookum agenda, Don Russell, you interrupted the continuously basketball games that he could have been having with Mr. Kelly. See, that was his time and his moment now to get really, really, really close to Mr. Kelly. He needed to have that story, multiple stories of where he can put in his resume of how many times he played basketball with Mr. Kelly. And that's a fact, because if you go over to when the uncle showed up on his show or called in on his show, what did he talk about? What did he talk about? Put it in the chat if you saw it. He wasn't concerned that much about what the uncle was saying over there because he kept throwing in that fact, well, because I'll make who you gonna put your money on the basketball game, me or Rob? Who you gonna put your money on? He want to talk about playing basketball. Don Russell over here talking about this man needs some money. We got to cut the playtime out for now. But see, that's not what Bookum wanted. Man, you cutting into my coming up game next to R. Kelly. If I even have to come up through by VIA freaking basketball games. He wanted a position. Oh, he definitely wanted a position. Definitely. Everybody's going to find their way in some kind of way. So his way was either by basketball or making Mr. Kelly laugh with bullshit, or the way he brought Jasmine in, allegedly.
Well, I was around the lifetime they paid for it. I said that was the show that they put together. The show is career demise. So I'm out on the road watching this shit. I mean, it was the most disgusting shit that I ever seen at the top of the mountain. Rob is a top of the mountain artist, and he dealing with motherfucking subway shit. And it was disgusting. Very few people would have lived in that. And fortunately, I came up in the gutter too and made it out of it. So I'm one of them niggas that can survive in the subway. So it wasn't that far-fetched. That's why I was able to leave. That's why I didn't abandon the shit. Every day I went there, I was tired as fuck because I had worked in my office all day. Then had to go to his fucking studio, sit up with that shit all night. It was a motherfucker. Like, it wasn't easy at all to get through this shit. And to have people coming at me like this shit, not coming at my family and my son and shit, that's fucked up.
It is.
That's real fucked up ass shit.
It's horrible and messed up, but
what's going on,
Tay?
Tay?
She did that, but that's how she's been fighting out here pretty much with everybody. If you're not doing what she's saying, if you don't move, here she comes with some stuff. It's like, how do people believe? How do you want to even believe, remotely believe a person like this? How?
You said that. Oh, hold on. I got to pause this. Don't ask. You said that's not the first time. Oh, see, I saw it come down, my wall on my phone. And I was like, well, there wasn't nothing else on. I was like, well, let me see what they're talking about. And once I noticed the people that was on the panel, I was like, oh, okay. So then I started hearing him. And then it was about the subject of Don Russell is linked with the Cheryl Mack. How? When? Where's your proof of this? What? So then after that, don't ask, I probably listened right up until it got to Niecy Mo. Then after that, because I was like, well, wait a minute, ain't Niecy Mo, raise your hand up. Yeah, he talking about your brother and being connected to Cheryl Mack. Is that true or is it not true? You're not gonna say nothing. However, she did come back with a question asking about the some information pertaining to the break-in in the Atlanta, Georgia home, right? And I mean, he danced, don't ask. He shake, rattle, and roll. When I tell you that boy, I don't know, I'm about to say made up whatever story came to the top of his brain. He just rolled with it. He just rolled with it. And I was like, oh, okay. Funny how, here's the thing though, don't ask in the chat. Here's the thing with that, right? Because Niecy Mo calls R. Kelly her brethren, right? Through Christ, right? Hear me out, don't ask. She been knowing him too, and he ain't done this stuff, and she done shared multiple an extraordinary amount of information pertaining to R. Kelly, right? But then you got Bookum over here who has his portion, his book about Mr. Kelly. But the question that she asks, you would think that both of their stories would have lined it up. Am I right? Don't ask. And if they don't line up, one or the other wasn't there. One or the other was not there, or maybe neither one of them was there. I'm just saying. So it's almost like watching those two battle out who's supposed to tell the truth and who's not. She was there. She said she knows Mr. Kelly. She's been around. That's her brother. This is his the alleged mentee. That's my goddaddy. I've been knowing him, and you people are mad because I know him. But yet then they both have different stories. So how is it that something so inclusive like the breaking in of the Atlanta home, and both of them have different actions on what then happened? How does Bookum know more about that than Niecy Mo? How does Niecy Mo know something differently than Bookum? But they both claim to have been around and know Mr. Kelly from the inside of his shoe to the bottom of his, to the backside of it. How is that possible? Why are two people who claims that they know Mr. Kelly like that are having these freaking debates against each other and asking each other these questions? I'm just saying, make it make sense.
The only thing that I see in you, not the only thing, but one of the things that I see is a humble fight.
Yes, mad.
First time
Yes.
that I really saw you come back aggressively, and that one there, it was time for it with on the choke with that boy over there. But throughout all of your interviews and everything that you have done, and I'm sorry, a remarkable, humble fight. And that's how I felt when you first came out. And that's how I'm going to remain. I wish you nothing but the best with your case and continue to help Mr. Kelly safe and the best that you know how with the knowledge that you know how. So,
I like Elizabeth answer better.
I appreciate it. Forensic said something about, I want to add that is a good point he said about, why did Mr. Kelly should have been facing lawsuits. Mm-hmm. And honestly, that is right. Mm-hmm. I mean, because Tasha K said that best. She said, a lie unchallenged becomes the truth. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm out here right now. That's why I got jumped up in that live yesterday with Chalk, because Texas Black Guy.
And that's exactly, don't ask, is exactly what happened on that panel last night. A lie will go unchallenged to get the truth. They did not challenge anything they was up there, whoa, yeah, yep, you right. And I'm like, what in the fuck carnation going on? He right. He's absolutely right. I'm gonna rewind that because this is exactly what went on that damn panel.
I felt when you first came out, and that's how I'm going to remain. I wish you nothing but the best with your case and continuing to help Mr. Kelly safe and the best that you know how, with the knowledge that you know how to do so. And that's where I stand.
I appreciate it. Forensic said something about,
What is
I want to
that?
add that is a good point. He said about, why did Mr. Kelly should have been facing lawsuits. And honestly, that is right. I mean, because Tasha K said that best. She said, a lot unchallenged.
I can do that on the neck. I
Mhm.
can do that,
And
Elizabeth.
that's why I'm out here right now. That's why I got jumped up in that live yesterday with Chalk, because Texas Black Diamond told me that they was on. And she was like, Diamond, you want me to speak on your behalf? And I'm listening to her. She getting ate up. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So I dive in. I wouldn't plan on doing that shit. I mean, I would just
I don't know if it was his call or whatever, but it was perfect and it was right on time. You have been nothing but humble on everybody's Q&A out here. I'm sorry. And at some point it's like, I'm in the muddy shoes today. Y'all want this work today, you're gonna get it. Because sometimes people don't grasp and understand a lot of things when you stay humble. Sometimes you have to put that one goddamn word out there and then you shut the fuck up.
Right.
And you did that. You really did that. But like I say, when I saw you, I was like, nah, this man is real. You don't come out here. I don't care who it is. He could have been Kingdom Come, or he could have owned the damn country. I wouldn't care. You had a lot to risk. What about your son?
Yeah.
Your mom needs taken care of. She's what do you mean to tell me he just jumped out of thin air and was like, well, shit, fuck it, I'm just gonna go get myself locked up for a minute. Where they do that at? That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me. So if this is something that you had to take a chance that you felt in your heart about doing for Mr. Kelly, and it cost you some repercussions behind it, right?
Right. That's the thing, though. I don't believe that I was summoned to just do this for Kelly. I've seen so many artists go through this shit. He was just the one I was connected to that I was able to get in enough to learn his side. I didn't have a chance to talk to Mike. I didn't know Mike. Michael Jackson, I didn't have a chance to talk to TLC. I didn't know them. I didn't have a chance to talk to Sam Cooke, Prince. Didn't know any of those guys. But I know Robert. We grew up together in the subway. So to hear it from his mouth, and I had already been through so much.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I saw him on Nick at Night first.
All of them, New Edition. You know what I mean? Seeing them come from the top of the mountain down because of bad management and people didn't care about them in the industry, put them in bad deals that would, eventually lead them where they are today. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I got to do something about this.
So is this something that Indie Bill is offering so that your business now would be able to show people how to not get themselves in bad financial situations, and also, to learning the whole concept of your business and keeping it on track? Is that part of what you guys do?
So what we do is we give you all the tools. We like Home Depot, but we also like the community center, the rec center, or whatever. You can go in there and be social, have fun, just like you do on Facebook. The skin of it looks just like Facebook.
Now, I believe that, or I remember that Bookum tried to make an accusation that Don Russell business was used to funnel the money, funnel what money or whatever the case, right? I looked at it a little bit different than the other people, meaning that if this is a person who is willing to put up the liability on R. Kelly's name or whatever the case to move something to bring in revenue, what was wrong with that? What was wrong with that? The thing of doing that is it would have been traceable. It's documented. There is a bit, it's on Madison. It's there. I promise you guys it's there. Indy Bill is there. So if there was anything of a sort, and Bookum felt that he needed to address any type of corruption that Don Russell may have been doing underhanded with Mr. Kelly money, then go get somebody to investigate it and bring it forth. But to make the allegations about it and then do nothing about it will definitely paint you as a propaganda liar, a conspirator. And it was crazy. And you develop those behaviors when you don't like something, when you're angry at somebody, or if someone came in and interrupted something of what you may have had an agenda of doing. Could have been his basketball time. Maybe he just, maybe he's mad at Don Russell for interrupting him coming in, showing how high he can jump with R. Kelly. Like, that was freaking important when this man has been indicted. He was indicted. Now, I can see Mr. Kelly going to the gym to work out stress. A lot of people do that. Clear your mind, make you think. But he couldn't even do that, in my opinion, because now he has a tour bus that showed up, had some members that was in a group together to, I guess, talk to him and find out what's going on, let him know that we're here to support you. And that member group came via under, the supposedly, I guess, back pages or whatever that this boy must have developed and got very acquainted with these individuals. Then the individuals, they down there, and they started to sense some things that wasn't sitting right. Then we went through a whole chapter of the separation of Bookum. Nobody, but he blames it on everybody, but none of them. I truly believe, because I met him two girls. I met them, and I truly believe that they wouldn't have never left a person behind if you're standing for all the right reasons. Them women do not come off like that. They don't. They come off that if you is up to some bullshit, we gonna we separate. That's the type of energy that I got from the him two girls. So it was almost like with Shaborn, if you didn't come correct, or if you started thinking, it's like they was gonna make it known. So they all moved around. But in his dialogue, he tells the community out here that everybody used him. Everybody used him. And I keep asking myself, the fuck for what? What was it that he was capable of doing to that was putting insight on these people that they should be using him? What was it to get to the basketball games? What was it that he fucking had to offer other than getting them down there to meet Mr. Kelly? What was it? You weren't fixing his money. You didn't help go move out nothing from the trunk. You ain't taking care of Jocelyn. What is it that makes this boy needs to feel that he is that goddamn important? What? Separation anxiety. Anxiety is exactly what I get out of his energy. Let me carry on because I don't have much longer to go. I don't even know if I'm going to get to Texas Black Diamond video, but y'all get the point.
To generate wealth for themselves by selling ads, by selling data, and all that shit. See, so what we do is we give the artists on them because they're the ones doing the performing. They're the ones selling the content. We give them the
You say
administrative
those.
to control their money. We don't take their money. We let them, whatever they do, we get a percentage of giving them access to the tool,
Now,
but they keep 80% of their money from sales, from data sales.
let's stop that right there. Because he's telling the people how the percentage of a pay works inside of his indie bill company. But hold on, y'all. I got my daughter bringing another baby too. Hello. 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 Okay, I'm downstairs. Just let me I'll be waiting. All right. So, but what did he do? He took this part of Donnell Russell's story when he started talking about the percentage amount, and we get this amount, but the clients or whatever, they get the 80%, but we still got to make some money up in here. And he used that part towards his advantage, claiming that this is how and the way that he used taking money or doing whatever towards Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. He just, everybody's story, the boy makes a U-turn on it. And that's crazy. Use it against them. But he uses it, it's just negative.
From advertising, from their record sales, from everything that they sell, that people go on there, if you go on there and just download their shit, they get a percentage of the money that's generated from data sales, all that shit.
Okay.
So they're getting money for being social on the platform. They're making money in their sleep. And the fans are on there engaging artists, and fans are engaging fans, and fans are engaging business people to find out where they go tomorrow. They buying tickets, they doing all the shit that you can do on Facebook. The difference is we allow the artists to administer their own career and control their own finances. Unlike on other platforms, they take all the money and the artists do all the getting famous, but they don't get much shit. So that's the difference. That's what we do.
And Bookum is the guy that they listen to on that panel, being convinced that Donnell Russell is Don the Con, according to Bookum. But yet then they listen to a guy who sits up there and can't even show them or tell them how he is structural or producing any type of business to help do any goddamn thing to help Mr. Kelly. He has nothing. We're talking about a guy who done had no car, bought one online, been to court multiple times with people online, moved from a different apartment from an eviction, who has all of this behind him. And this is the person that panel was up there enthused by, mesmerized by, huh? What? And I'm sitting here like, oh my God, oh my God.
Okay. Interesting. Well, you can sure share that over there too. Yeah. So, because he needs some business and money over there.
Yeah, with everything that's going on right now on Facebook with sharing people's information, they're public company, we don't do that. It's all privately held. We're giving the Fed shit. All of your information stays your information. We're not striking an artist that's going to trial and needs some money to pay for his defense. He should still be able to pay for his defense. And even if he gets proven guilty, if he has family, that money they should be the beneficiaries of his money, not the state. I mean, that just don't make sense.
Again, how is he working with Cheryl Mack if he's sitting here putting out factual information of how the game goes, of what his agenda was with helping Mr. Kelly produce some income, some revenue? What? I'm waiting on them to have a panel to ask him what exactly was Bookum doing to produce revenue other than $1 for a king taken from the people. See, he was going to take allegedly Mr. Kelly's already worked or whatever work is ready to go and inject it back out here to the people so that you guys can buy what you love to buy. But on the other hand, Bookum came up with some shit about sending in the money so R. Kelly could get some basketballs and a gym floor and some Gucci house coats and some Fendi head scarves and socks and shit. Oh, I will. I will. Well, I will if you ask for it.
A lot of
will.
those things were taken into consideration when we were building the platform based on the things that I had experienced and seen in myself in the industry. I'm like, that's just unfair. You know, how is it that an artist and his family goes
Let
through
me
all
see
this
if I
shit,
can find
and
that
the
channel.
artist is doing nothing, and his family's got fucked up, and now they gotta go work
And
a
I'm not
job.
even trying to
You know,
promote
they dealt with all
promote
that
his
pain
either, and
that
I'm
his
usually
mother
not
brought
like
up
that,
with his kids, you know.
Elizabeth.
They should be the ones the beneficiary of their success, not the label, not the the county or whoever. So that's the sense you get, and and we launched it and it's growing. People are using it. You know, we launched it probably this year. We got about 20-some thousand people actively using it, and every day it's growing.
That's
and so, it's not ethnic. You go on the site, you won't even know you know, on a platform created by a kid from the west side of Chicago.
That's cool. Well, that's what I just wanted to touch base with you on that. And before you go, because I said I would never hold you up that long, I gotta ask you, after yesterday's live with Choke No Joke, is there anything that you
Ms. Brown
regret doing on the show, or are you comfortable with everything that you have said and you're gonna leave it at that? That's that.
Well,
because you have everybody out here. Reason why I asked, I'm sorry, is because you had everybody in an uproar about the phone call that was played on the show.
Oh, nothing much, Lavelle. Got to go pick my baby up here in about 25 minutes.
Well, after I did it, I should have kept that to myself. I felt like maybe I shouldn't have, but it was more of I wanted people to hear from him too. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get on the phone and talk about shit outside of love. That was the first time I verbally talked to him. But I should have kept that as a keepsake for myself. But I don't. I do think that people hearing his voice made maybe a few people feel better. That's what I thought. Because everybody was out here. Well, he don't talk to you, and he don't do this. He don't talk to you. So everybody's like, "Well, prove it. Well, prove it." But then you show the proof, and it was like, "Oh shit!" And the reason why I think that they got their pennies in a bunch is because they said that Mr. Kelly ended up where one of his rules was he was not supposed to be having contact with something on the phones or this or that. But I'm like, well, what? I don't know if that's true because his lawyers are present. You know what I'm saying? And why would his lawyers do something that's gonna get him in a bad situation? You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, that's true. That's true. The lawyers are present. I mean, he didn't call me on no sneak tip on no shit like that. The lawyers are present. So
let me pause that. Because he specifically tells the community when Don Russell played that audio on Choke No Joke, where and he was talking to I think he played the part with R. Kelly, right? Bookum comes out again, gets the scream, and yada 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 yada, right? But he sits here and he tells you that no, the attorneys, was present when that audio happened. Now, the most that he could have done with that, since he has a relationship, well, maybe that wouldn't have been with Doug Anton. Who was that then? Probably Becker or Greenberg or somewhere around that time, right? He could have went and got the information from that. Since he knows everybody, he's good in with the attorney back then. Why didn't he just go do that instead of coming out here and pouring salt on the table? What was wrong with that? Nope. Mad again because an audio drop. And for the record, I do believe that was, correct me if I'm wrong, Elizabeth, that was the first audio played of people hearing Mr. Kelly out here on the YouTube. And I think that is on one of Choke No Joke's lives that Don Russell was on. And I believe Choke No Joke asked him, and he told him, no, the attorneys was there. He wouldn't be dropping stuff that was illegal like that, or against Mr. Kelly's will, to do so. But Bookum turned that bad too. Everything, every freaking thing. And I get it, because he convinces the people that I'm going to do everything to protect my guy. And when I got to watch a guy set aside that they're going to do everything to protect someone else and does not have their own life established at the age that we are, I got a problem with that. How is it that you don't have time to set your life in order from A to Z? Because life is in order, unless we have some little bumps and bruises along the way. You know, it's play as a kid, flirt when you're a teenager, have sex before you're out of high school, marry your goddamn high school sweetheart or find you another man. Now here comes those babies. After those babies, we got good jobs. After the good jobs, we buying us a house. After the house, we pulling up with 2 mobiles in the driveway. After that, we saving some money up for the college fund for these kids if they chooses to go. After that, the kids come back and take care of the parents. And after that, we die. In that order. But how does a person who steps outside of that order, I mean, all the way out, to choose to say, well, I'm going to die for this man. I'm going, who does that? And when a person does that, you already know something ain't right about you in the damn head. Something ain't right. Ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out.
So I wasn't thinking about the things you said. I've had that shit before. I could have just like that. But people wanted to hear from him to make sure that, because what I read was, how did he sound? How is he doing? So what I heard, and most of he's strong, he's cool, he's fighting through it. Rob has been in the gutter before. He'll figure a way out of this shit. He's the one motherfucker that can handle what he's going through right now. So he's the one artist that came up with so little, trapped in the closet his whole life because he's been molested from a childhood age. That's never been dealt with. He's dealing with all that now. So he needed time to himself to deal with some of those inner things. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. I believe that he needed that time to himself. And for the fact of what's happening, maybe it's safe to say that God really put him there so he can deal with Rob. Maybe it's safe to say that. But who knows what the truth is? I know he's playing everything that he did and I blew out his foot back in his mind. I've been in a situation for 6 months. I spent time with that motherfucker, and that shit is not. You reflect. That's all you do at night is reflect.
Yeah, you do.
Reflect.
You do. You do that, but you also try to draw you out of a new blueprint. You know what I mean? Mentally, it kind of puts you on focus, and hopefully you can get yourself connected to someone when you're in there. You usually do. That will give you some ideas on a new foundation. Because you know how it goes. I know how it goes and everything. You should get this. And some ideas you can take and run with it to make yourself a lot better.
Yeah, I wrote the business plan to IndieBill while I was in there.
There you go. It's possible.
I wrote the business plan for IndieBill, and I got out of that motherfucker. I was broke. I was getting that shit. Maybe an income tax check on the way. I took that check, went to school. I went back up to Phoenix University to learn computer science. And while I was there, I hadn't even got to that computer science class yet. And my instructor was like, for the final assignment to get past and go to the next class, I want everybody to write a business plan. Now everybody, it was 20-some people in the class and everybody in groups. So I might have been in a group of 3 or 4 other people. So I told everybody, said, listen, I already wrote a business plan. I had wrote it when I was locked up. I didn't know.
I'm gonna let this part play out, then I'll end this one, and then I want to come inside the chat and talk to you guys for a little bit. But this goes back to that panel over there who sat there and gave a little bit of praise to the propaganda about Don Russell, is now or was aligned with Cheryl Mack, doing all of the devious work against Mr. Kelly, taking things or doing this and doing that. But yet then this man sits out here at the time he did this live and explained and broke it down, told you that he went to jail, came back out, He had all the time in the world to sit up in there and to think of a master plan on how to turn his life around and make some money. So he did this. He borrowed the money from this and he took off. And you sitting up there on that panel, listening to someone who cannot produce you a financial master plan nowhere inside of his life. He just had an eviction or whatever the case may be. He just ended up needing to buy a car off a line that he should have been having 2, 3 of them in his lifetime. But this is the person that they choose to listen to, I guess, because it sounds good. I don't know. But I know if you put those resumes out, that there is no comparison, according to what I have learned out here on YouTube. Let me clarify that Bookum cannot stand in this man's shoes. Period. Period. Oh, he can talk about investing it. He can teach you about being a sovereign. He can teach you about what the politics are talking about. He can do all that. He can even teach you how to go beat a nigga up. But he can't show you his financial planning spreadsheet and then pulled it off. Nah. So I ask myself as belonging to the Black community, this is what you all like to hear from another person who ain't got shit. I don't want to hear from nobody who ain't. How can you walk the walk and you didn't even, how can you even talk the talk and you ain't did the walk, is all I'm saying. But they enjoyed that dialogue. And I was shocked by the people that made a choice to sit there to listen to it.
My teacher was a frustrated musician. He could play the fuck out of the piano, and he could sing. His name was David DeVita. And he also owned a real estate company. So I turned the plan in, and after class, the final class when we got our grade, he stopped me. He said, Don, this business plan, is this something that you can make happen? And I was like, yeah. Well, yeah. What do you need to get started? I said, well, shit, I need about 60 grand. He cut me that fucking check. He gave me 20,000, waited a couple months to see how it was finished, gave me another 20,000. That led to me raising 2.7 million. Put into that platform to open the offices up, to get things going, and now I got a 50,000 square foot building. We're building this thing out, we're making it bigger. And that's just how it works. So you can come out of that place with something greater than you went into it. And that was because I sat down long enough to listen to what God was trying to tell me. Part of what he was telling me was, leave fucked up people. The people that led you to this bitch, leave them alone. I put all this great shit in you and you're ignoring it because of whatever.
Distracted, like you said, distracted. They kept them distracted. They kept them distracted.
Exactly.
It's like
exactly.
feeding the worst crackhead out here drugs. Just keep giving to him. Just keep giving to him, and he'll be the one that's looking out for you. Just as you trying to break into a house, all you gotta do is give him crack. He'll watch it for you. No, they were just feeding them. They fed them. They fed them. They fed them blind. Yeah. So and it's sad. I pray that he will, come back and continue on with his life in a better place, So, and that's all you can do. So, I got one more question because the chat want to ask you, and then I'm going to bed. But I appreciate it. I'm so happy that
okay. This next question coming up was about the queen over there, but we can skip that.
So we get the plan, and we had one first game against Robert Roberts.
Oh, let's bag this up about the gym. Let's see about the gym again.
Like he was gonna knock you out.
First of all, I know you're being funny because Chicago a whole other thing, right?
I'm just saying. He said I looked you dead in your face. Say I did.
First of all, he couldn't have looked me in my eyes because one of his eyes on the side of his head.
Well, we know that. It's actually stuck too, Don. It's stress. It's really stuck.
I would have probably started cracking up laughing at me and tried to do a stare down with me. last one of them to be penitentiary time. So I took them because I took my team. It wasn't because of nothing, because we would always play against Rob's team. So I would take my team there to play against his team. So that's first and foremost. The day he was at the gym, I put this on every time I got coming and the success of the deal. He was in there acting like a faggot.
Oh.
He was walking around all acting gay and smacking his lips and shit. Rob was in the room changing in the locker room. I'm like, who is this gay motherfucker that's up in here? So
see, that's what pissed Bookum off too, y'all.
Shit about Rob was gay and bubble and all that shit. Was his little bitch and whatever, and say anything about Will. So I'm like saying, who is this motherfucker walking around acting gay? So we get the playing, and we had won the first game against Rob. Robbie wins every game, but his ass creeping never get up the court. But he puts this nigga on my team. And I'm like, I'm not playing with him. So me and my brother, I'm like, we just passed him the ball every time, and then we just eventually lost the game eventually, and then we left. That's the day that Jasmine was outside. So, and the only person that was in, I was in face, or was in my face was Rob. When I went out there and told him that that was a dumbass thing to do, putting that girl in his car and stuff like that.
So, is that why he is very angry with you? Is
now, what would have been so wrong with him addressing Mr. Kelly about this female who may have appeared to have looked young, knowing that this is why this indictment came down, it's coming down on Mr. Kelly, knowing that this is what his predominantly investigation was about? Why did that infuriate him? The way that I looked inside of what Don was speaking, because I had to, reach up inside like, okay, but she's just a supporter too. She came down to visit him, right? But then it made a lot of sense to me. Well, Mr. Kelly is going through some things right now. So someone explained to me, instead of Bookum getting infuriated about that situation, why didn't he have a story that could have possibly went like this? You know what, Don? I understand that she might have looked young. Mr. Kelly, she's good. I checked her out. She's of age. She's, with me. She found me, she come. Why was it turned hostile? Why did he need to become hostile on that narrative right there? Why? He only addressed Mr. Kelly about his assumption of possibly the age because of how she looked. But when they brought the story alive out here and you took time to go and visit Bookum's rebuttal, everything was hostile. His rebuttal was on fire. Why? Why wouldn't he be on the same team just a little bit with Don Russell saying, you know what, you may have a point? Why did he not say, Don, let's confirm this? We'll see. Huh? It's just some questions that I was like, wow, dude, wow, really? But she ended up in that sprinter, dude. And Mr. Kelly told that story. He didn't want her on her lap, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't understand that to save my soul.
it Jasmine?
Well, the Jasmine situation happened the day he was there. I didn't learn until later.
Oh.
He is the one. No, sorry. I learned that night because Cash, I can't say her name. Cassinopoli.
Yeah.
Cassinopoli.
And I'm gonna break that down for you.
She called me. And she had her on the phone, and she was like acting all scared. Oh my God, I'm in this van now, and I don't know what he's gonna do.
Now, let me break that down for you, in my opinion, on how that played out. In my opinion. Allegedly, since the Baltimore people were very close boys and they grew up, and man, you know how I get down, man. You've been knowing me since child. You know me, right? Because we know the Baltimore guy, was involved, according to the stories that was dropped out here, right? But because Cash Jones and Angelo was bumping heads, they having a little breakup squirrel time out here in the public and or in behind the scenes or whatever, right? Bookum had to turn that story. Bookum had to turn that story allegedly to put it on Don Russell, telling the public out here that, no, you know her. No, Cash Jones came from you. Y'all two was connected. He done took Cash Jones away from Angelo Clary and then placed her onto Don Russell to make his story have some clarity about Don Russell knowing Cash Jones. When everybody out here can see where the division of Cash Jones and Angelo came from and how it happened. There was even times that Cash Jones even came out and spoke several times, which, that's a whole nother lane. And I'm not going to go down that lane with the other panel that she was on not too long ago, which was surprising to me, but I guess they have that relationship behind the scene. I bet I'm gonna leave that alone. Yeah. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I think he took it off. Yeah, he took it off of Angelo and put Cash onto Don Russell. And then when Cash Jones appeared a few times on the panels, her was that she went along with the cussing Don Russell out and turned Don Russell into the demon of going after Mr. Kelly. So with the way that she played her cards onto Don Russell, Bookum fell right into that with her. So you got three people along with the skeletoscope in her pictures up there, and there goes their propaganda. For some strange reason, Cash, in my opinion, dropped this into the lap of Don Russell to make him out the bad guy. Somewhere she put that U-turn in there. She put that U-turn in there, And now what behooves me is, and I don't know, because, well, I am going to say it, fuck it, because Cash Jones then sat up with Sylvia multiple times on the panel, right? And like I said, I know it's irrelevant right now. It's totally irrelevant. But I'm like, well, Sylvia is for R. Kelly, right? Well, okay, where, Sylvia, you gonna get the truth to this about who knows who with Don Russell? Even though, we know that Sylvia was at the time with Bookum, somewhere up in there when she brought out the fact about June Barrett's expiring stamp to notarize. So the shit is crazy, really, really crazy.
Going back to talk with him. So I'm listening. I got my brother's phone sitting on court this shit. So he recorded it. We go after they finished talking, they hung up. I go back to the gym. I said, Rob, come on. So who the fuck is this girl outside, bro? Because I was going to take her ass and drop off at the mega bus and buy a ticket back to where she said she came from. And Bud came out and put her in the fucking van. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, dude, who is this chick? Why you asking me? I'm like, man, listen. This motherfucker look 14 years old and she come up to you, she's scared as fucking, what you talking about? So I let him hit a recorder. He says, I said, is she working for Angelo? So what she had said was that she came with Dana. And I didn't know that was Dana was the same guy that was in there. She came with Dana and Dana's working with Angelo. That's what she said. And I'm like, well, she said, he said, well, she didn't say she working with Angelo. I said, dog, all right, man. Well, at least you know I'm out of here. And I left. It was the dumbest shit in the world. Like, this girl looked every bit of 14 years old. Like, with all the shit that was going on, there shouldn't be nobody under 40 in this motherfucker. For real. So that was a dumb move to me. Like, all right, bro, I'm out, man. That was dumb as hell. I left.
Right.
So we clashed because I'm not the brother that's been like, all right, man, yeah, fuck that bitch. Man, get that bitch the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
That's stupid as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that dude. I don't give a fuck if you don't like my character for me not being that dude. And sometimes I'm gonna get in your face. Sometimes I'm gonna be
Yeah,
like,
you're right, Elizabeth.
I mean, so all that shit, the motherfuckers is in there kissing his ass, not saying nothing. I wasn't that dude. I'm telling you, listen, bro, that's bullshit. So for him to say he got it in my face, and I look down.
Yeah, so you was looking down. You wouldn't even look up like a soldier.
I'm not even that kind of dude. Anybody that never seen me on my interviews, I want a business. I'm the president of my shit. You don't get to that height by being scared of anybody. And I'm only fear God. That's my dog. I'm second to him only, so I don't give a fuck.
The second thing is, do I feel like going to jail over your ass? Hell no.
It never even got to any of that.
Yeah.
He made that whole scenario up about getting in my face and shit.
Yeah.
Like nothing ever happened to that. So it wasn't even a thought to cross my mind of going to jail, because the only person I would ever talk to in there was Ron. I didn't know none of them niggas. I didn't have to answer to none of them niggas.
I think things would look a little bit different with him if he ever tries showing up like with some more intelligent men. He's always been down there, but it's him and women, him and women. What, you ain't got no partner, none that you roll with. Most men kind of, like you say, you have your brothers that, was kicking it or whatever with you. It's just him and women. It's him and women. Everybody usually have a partner of the same gender with you. Like I got my BFF. You got your brother. He just come with him and women. It's him and women. I'm like, oh, this man got it.
Yeah, well, the thing that I've always addressed is, and I'm still growing, but if I'm the smartest motherfucker in the room, I'm in the wrong room. I mean, I surround myself with people that are way more smarter than me,
Can learn.
And I give them credit for everything. Like, it's nothing wrong with that. Like the vice president of my company was the ex-president of 2 national colleges. I mean, my investors and shareholders are very profound and prolific people that have done major things in the industry, and they're guiding me. They want to see me work hard for shit, but they got my back. I mean, so that's what I wake up every day and say the one thing I know for sure, I don't know shit, because I'm always open to learning more. So that's how I lead. So when I got in this role with Rob, and it was completely the opposite of that, we were going to clash anyway because we don't lead the same way. You know what I'm saying? No, dog, you may be the best motherfucker on the stage, but you need somebody 20 times smarter than you running your shit. Right. And he never had that.
Right. That makes sense. All right. I appreciate you, but you on your wait list on your way out. I'm going to tell you why he mad at you, dog, for real. I'm going to keep it real. Because you stopped the bag, nigga. You stopped the money, and they is mad at you. And if he mad over there, she mad up there. Now you over here, you got Bruce torn in his feelings. He don't know what the fuck to do. And you stopped money. You stopped the money. So you had to see this one coming from a mile away. You can't take money from black people. You can't do that.
The saddest thing about that Bruce shit, I let the nigga stay in my house. My mom was the one that did that. He came in, he just stole it out of my shit. He didn't steal rob shit. That nigga stole my family's priceless toy collection. That nigga stole, what else did he steal? He stole a lot of shit, like little small shit that I had that was worse than I think she was using that to buy drugs with. But
that's easy to hawk. You already know that shit easy to get rid of if it's small. Yeah. You know that.
Yeah, so, but jewelry stuff, I didn't wear a lot of the shit that he stole too much more, like watches. I'm not a jewelry person, but he stole that kind of shit. But what's sad is that, so I pressed charges. I mean, I filed a complaint against Bruce. And there was a court date set up while his ass was locked up. And I showed up to that court date, he would have gotten a whole other case while he was locked up, which means more time. I didn't even go. I didn't even go to the fucking
So you basically saved his ass on that.
Exactly. Everybody doing that shit. That's crazy. But you know what? God don't like ugly. That's for damn show. And you're gonna deal with that.
Yeah. I probably didn't have no insurance like on his things that, like when your house get broken into, he didn't have like renter's insurance or nothing. That shit just.
They only stole 2 laptops. I mean, and when the house got broken into, when the car got broken into, he got a whole bunch of shit, but I did have insurance. That's why I'm not crying. 'Cause I did do
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Okay, I'm
I forgot all
quiet.
my computer. I got my laptop back. They just throw it again.
I knew
I mean,
it.
I'll get another one. It's not a big deal. I don't trip on it. See, I had just left to go to the grocery store. I wouldn't even go in 15 minutes. So the way my house is made, it's big. It's a big house, but you can't see the second floor. So my mom stays on the second floor. I stay on the first floor, and then the basement is where I got my studio, my office, and all that stuff at. So you can't see like the second floor. My mom normally works in her office or goes to the room, stuff like that, but you can't see the lights because she got on the blinds on. So whoever was thought I was doing for good. And they went on in to bust the basement window open and went in through the window, and all they had time to see and whoever it was also was somebody that knew the inside of my house because I got cameras set up all in the front and everything. So they knew how to avoid the cameras, and they knew that there's a camera in the studio, but it's faced in the direction of the stairs, like anybody coming down the stairs. So I got more cameras put up now, so I ain't worried about that the next time. The insurance is gonna cover everything that was stolen, so I'm not tripping.
I knew that's why you was hungry. I was like, shit, got my insurance on. I knew it. Listen, to these people, I'm the dumbest person out here, but shit. I don't think so. I don't think so. But okay, don't tell us no more. I'll let you go on with your night. I appreciate laughing with you. Unless you got something else you want to talk to them about.
No, I'm good, man.
I'm good.
If anybody has a quick question they want to ask.
Okay, let me see. Who got a question for? Who got a question for Don? I'm only going to take one or two. That's it. Just give us two.
Stephanie. Stephanie asked the question.
Okay.
And Don, what's up with your sister?
What's up with your sister? Okay.
It's real simple. We didn't grow up in having the best relationship. You know what I mean? We did. But I performed a lot as a kid. We did my cousin.
Now, I think I can stop it there because most of you guys knew the outcome of what happened after Don started coming live out here. As if it was on Nick at Night and Theives or TBD. He did a live also, which is not up anymore. I can't find it. I don't know where it is, but Bookum's homegirl, Toxic Diamond. Yeah, she did a whole live with Donnell Russell. And in between time, all this time, now he has propaganda about Don Russell was tied into with Cheryl Mack over on a panel yesterday. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. His homegirl. Why didn't you share this with your homegirl so that she can ask him some questions pertaining to that matter? Huh? Why haven't Mr. Kelly says that he got rid of everybody? Says got rid of everybody. Or at least he tried to, I guess. But yet then, over on the Texas Black Live, and she just posted a replay of one of her lives with Don Russell a while ago, right? And you'll clearly have Don Russell putting up the paperwork, putting up this. Hey, Pretty Brown, Kaleidoscope and Hollywood. Both of them built the propaganda because of Don Russell saying that he had X, Y, and Z paperwork. And I believe that, in my opinion, they got a little antsy because they didn't get to see what the paperwork was pertaining to, what was exactly on the paperwork. You understand? So let's build something on this. Those accusations is a mother sucker. It really is. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna end that there. I just wanted to come on because of that live that I came across last night. And I'm like, nobody's gonna raise their hand. I was shocked with, once again, the whole Niecy Mo thing. Because I do recall Niecy Mo saying that, Don, is her brother. he's speaking the real stuff. He is the right person, not even just on the lives. I'm sorry. Even through phone calls, and so I was like, well, this is when Don first came out. And I was like, well, oh, this guy, and she pretty much verified that, so I was keen on, like, wow, okay, well, that's cool, because I was under the impression that, wow, she really, she knows of Don Russell too, and sometimes, as desperate as a lot of us were back then, and learning that, oh, this is, it's Robert Kelly, he's in trouble. I think that for the most part, there is quite a few of us just wanted to meet some actual real people that may have been a little close to him, that was going to tell the truth and not come out here with a bunch of bull crap. In my time out here, it's been bull crap. It's been nothing but games. Even over here on my show, being told that, oh, you doing this, oh, we rocking, and oh, we doing X, Y, and Z. But then to see, different movements in the game, all that does will make me bag up, put my armor on, like, oh, no, we not. No, we not. No, we not. But it all happened. And it's been nothing but clownery ass shit. I know I come on here and do my shits and giggles, but I'm not doing my shits and giggles just out the crack of my ass on this shit. I'm bringing y'all what the hell these people are saying and doing. I'm just laughing with it. But was it real as it can be? Yeah. I ain't know it was finna be freaking marriages and I'm finna kill you and all of that shit. I ain't know this shit was about to exist. I'm like, what we doing? Well, wait, whoa, hold up. And I'm gonna tell you this: out of all of the people, most of the people that has literally been on these microphones, I can't count but one, two, three, including no, three, four. Let me count them. One, two, three. Is it six of them? Six of them that actually, seven, went out there on the freaking streets for Mr. Kelly. Everybody else just talked behind the scene. And when I saw that a lot of them were still staying behind the scene, oh, it's a problem. You can't possibly have all the answers. No, no. Yes. Oh, you said last night Bozo got a recording. Well, if he finally got a recording, oh, wow. Oh, wow. Because he said that he had a recording, but he just, he wasn't going to share it with nobody, but don't nobody need to know his business. He said that on his live. Yeah, he said that on his live. So I was like, well, oh, okay. And you know what's messed up? Because I remember somebody saying that, well, Mr. Kelly, no, I was done. And a few others, he talked to people privately, separately. So you don't know what he's telling one as opposed to what he's telling the other. I even caught that other guy's live a little bit, Gorgeous Dre or something, and I try to understand his movement as well, fighting for the injustice of wrongful convictions, so, I hear his, but I also hear the best way that he can conduct that live aligned to Mr. Kelly is by using his story. This is something that has happened to him and it was wrongfully done. Randa said in 2019. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's absolutely good that he got that call back in 2019. That's good. But yeah, everybody has a different discernment about the emails on how Mr. Kelly should handle it. I even had my opinion, about it. And I'm a firm believer that it's good to hear him speak. It's good to hear from him. But I'm also a firm believer that if there is an attorney on the case, that everything must stay into the attorney's hand. At the end of the day, once he gets to what it is that he's looking for, an attorney's going to have to pick it up anyway to run with it in court to even bring whatever it is he's looking for, a civil suit or for civil damages or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. Well, you guys, all of the grandkids are here. I would stay on with you guys, but y'all are so quiet. So maybe I'll come back later on and we could have ladies' night and talk about something different. Because maybe I will rebuttal on the uncle over there. Because boy, he was like, putting it down as opposed to how a woman should hold a man down and a man should be holding a woman down if they don't have it. Yes, I heard a little bit of that too on 312 on JoJo's show last night, but like I said, people gravitate where they choose to gravitate to and from for whatever reason. And there's just, I'm gonna tell you this, don't ask. A lot of that gravitation be having my eyes wide open, and and it is what it is. But um I believe that I said that on my other live, and the rebuttal that I got back about that was, why do I have an attitude or something with it, was in the comment. And I was like, no, I do not. I think that the best thing to do it was, through an attorney. No, it may not hurt his case, and the appeal, because whatever the other cases there's are over with, but the appeal part, so he does have that to look forward to. you know he does, he has that to look forward to. And you know I don't know, man is gonna do what a man's got to do, I guess. What about Michael Avenatti, Jason? What about Michael Avenatti? There is no trial, Jason. Michael Avenatti was not called into the courtroom. So why are you still talking about Michael Avenatti? Now, will Jennifer Bunjean possibly add something about the transferring of videotapes through Michael Avenatti's hand on Jim Derrick Goddess and all that stuff? Maybe so. Maybe her, uh, Jennifer Bunjean, whole miscarriage of justice tactic that I believe that she's standing firm on using, because of the way she ran her defense for Mr. Kelly. And she ran her defense, in my opinion, solely watching how the prosecutors use his constitutional rights, how they fail to acknowledge that he has constitutional rights. I don't think that 100% of her fight, in my opinion, um, is based off of all the detailing information that was placed in the paperwork from the prosecutors. Yeah, she heard about how they met. Yeah, she didn't heard about how they didn't went across country over there to meet up with R. Kelly for the concert. She read all of that. But is that what's really going to free him? No, it's his constitutional rights. What did the prosecution, if you could sit down, Jason, and write out what you may think that, and look at the Constitution while you are thinking it, and ask yourself, well, when this happened to you, now find a Constitution that fit what you don't think should have happened to you, and fight it. Uh-oh. No, is she gonna be all right? Bring it in. Uh-oh.
She said that
Uh-oh.
his butt is sore and that he probably not gonna let you wipe him with wipes, but she got a towel and some soap in the bag.
Mr. Noel is here. And he's mad. Mr. Noel. Mr. Noel. Yeah, I'm finna go now. So you just gotta watch him for a minute. I'm finna run around in there. So you say it's about Aspire. Yeah, well, you know, I guess she got the phone call. So what do? Ain't nothing you can do. The only thing, you know, and I can be truthful about that, don't ask. Just what's uncomfortable when we all are out here on these lives. I don't like to go where I feel that it's aggressive. You understand what I'm saying? I don't like to go where I feel as if I'm not my age. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. I just feel like I don't like to be talked to like I'm 5 years old. And I know that it's one of my triggers. So I have to watch where I go because you know, sometimes I'll be like, who are you talking to? You know what I'm saying? Don't ask who are you talking? Because I know that I'm a grown woman. So I'm very careful, you know. And sometimes when I started hearing the aggressiveness and the kind of like the control effect of things, I got to go because then I don't feel right. Here comes Keandre. Da, 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 da. They're cooling again. What you doing, grandson? Y'all know what? Keandre is going to the toilet. Yep, he is going to the toilet, y'all. He pulls his pants down. He pulls them off. And he was like, to the bathroom. To the bathroom. Please say hi. Please say hi. Hi. Say hi. So, I'm gonna end this live and go get them all settled in and get some dinner, I guess, prepared right quick. And if I come back, we'll have ladies' night. So, and I hope to see you guys back so that we can have a little bit of laughter. Y'all know I don't like too much sad stuff. I like happy stuff. I don't like people being aggressive and controlling and talking to other people as if nobody has a brain out here, or, you know, all that stuff. It triggers me. It does. I'm like, who the hell is you talking to? Yeah, it's grandbaby nights. It's grandbaby's nights. So I enjoyed y'all. I thank you guys for coming through. I thank you guys for hitting the like button. I also thank you guys, and you know who you are, for supporting the channel with your membership and your contributions. That helps my channel and show me that, you know, Pap, keep going. Pap, keep going. You know, enjoy. You guys help me enjoy my channel. We're gonna talk about Jim Derry Goddess, okay, when I come back. And for that, I love the people for that, you know. So I truly thank you guys. I do. You know, y'all know when I'm ready to be ain't shit, and y'all know when I'm like, you know what? I got to be the real out here, and that's just that. I ain't finna bullshit you. Ain't gonna happen. On that note, Jason, you have a good goddamn day. Bye, y'all. Petey, you was sitting up there, Petey. I'm gonna get you.
Just the other day, saw you looking my way. Stop to contemplate, but it's now went to waste. Why you do that?
Look at you, glass. What you got on? Let me show y'all Kiwan. Look at him. I met Keandre. Shout don't play that game. Shout don't play that game. Keep you safe. Let me show y'all Let me show y'all, Keandre. I know you in the bushes up there. Wait a minute. Let me get this screen off. Let me get the bunny off right quick. There it is. Say hi. Say what's up? Look at Keandre. He can't see. Say what's up. Say hi. Say what's up. Look at the camera. Up there. Look at you. Look at you. He looking down. Look at you in the camera. Say bye. You gonna talk now? You wanna talk to my phone? Here. Say hello. No. He said bye y'all. Bye y'all. He said bye y'all. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go eat. I know. APZ, you was here. You was here. You was here. Now, it's chillin' time. See y'all later.